Hi.
Hi. You good?
Yeah, I've got not very much energy today, but I'm going to bring it for the podcast.
I feel a bit like that as well, actually.
Quite CBA today.
Yeah. And why do we think?
It's hot and I don't know, like we've not been sleeping very well. Tossing and turning. What do you think?
Yeah, we were sleeping really badly because it was hot. And then we got a fan.
Nathaniel.
Which we've been bringing back and forth to the studio as well because we just bought one. Should probably bought two.
We've been carrying it back. Me and Lewis won't spend...
We've been walking through Hove with a fan every day.
But it's like, it's not just a fan.
It's an industrial size. It's as tall as a human.
It's honestly like a huge, and I'm holding the bottom of it, walking to the studio. It's like, just buy two. I don't
and also
get it.
when you walk, it obviously catches the wind and just starts spinning as well. So it's just quite funny. We've been having fun with that.
We think Nathaniel's so jokes. What else has happened?
What else has happened?
I went
then
on
we
holiday.
got a fan and now it's just been blowing and keeping me awake. If anything, I've been too cold.
We're such old people. Our only news is about if we've been too cold or hot when we're asleep.
And we've been both.
Yeah, we've been both. I went on holiday for a week and missed you so much. Not to be like Sopmeister, but it was hard. We're never apart, me and you.
Yeah.
I've got the giggles. We work together. We live together.
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
Man, you're good. I just thought I just bring it like here if you're gonna shout. I think. Well, I think you were like, we work together, we play together.
We work together. Sorry. I also think my voice is much louder than yours on this podcast.
Yeah. Well, it's cool. I can see it.
Oh, cool.
I can see the thing.
Okay.
But like, if it comes in too loud, I can't do anything about it.
Right,
That's the
got you,
issue.
yeah.
Just bring it just slightly further away. I might be wrong.
Okay.
We'll see. Don't worry about it too much.
Thank you, sweet. What else then?
What else?
Oh, a few people have been coming up to me saying they listen to our podcast.
Oh yeah, you've been getting like lots.
I've been getting
people
spotted.
We went to an event, didn't we? And you got and like that was around people who might know who you are.
I mean, it's just been a coincidence that we've been sitting outside pubs and people
fair.
have been like,
okay, fair.
I love your podcast, and it's just like, yes.
Yeah, that was cool.
People thought that
I didn't see anyone.
My friends anyway thought the cut down you did of me saying spicy one, thank you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We didn't do any cut downs of the last one. Or we just did a couple. Do you remember what I was saying? Like we need to actually So like we're having we've had a conversation about
our strategy.
the actual like logistics of editing the thing because I've been just focusing on other work.
Fair. This is our passion project. Yeah.
And it's like realistically on the day that I do the episode cut down or the episode, we should also go through it and choose 7 cut downs and just...
We should be giving it our best shot, really.
Make them all, put them out one a day or something
It's
like that.
very boring. We're just talking about our...
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'm just trying to give the...
No, sorry, I didn't mean to say it's very boring, but yeah. We need to figure that out to make this podcast keep going.
Yeah. What else have we been doing? What other fun stuff have we in the last week?
We were reunited.
Yeah, we were reunited. That was fun. I come and picked you up from the airport.
My sweet fiance, Liz, got an engagement ring.
Oh yeah, I got an engagement ring. Charlie Coggle made it.
Now we're both engaged.
Kind of figured that if we're not going to get married immediately,
I want you to be wearing a ring. 100%. I want a match.
I fucking want one. That was the whole point. I said before, only really got engaged for the proposal and the ring.
Said before, only got engaged so we wouldn't get married. The whole thing's just...
Yeah, it's so fucked, isn't it? I'm really good at putting my foot in it at the moment.
I know. We had an argument, and I do this every time. I wanted to talk about it on the podcast, and I can't remember what happened.
Was it about...
Do you remember?
Was it at the weekend?
Oh, it was about the sheet. It's so boring.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm going to come off so bad, I actually don't want to talk about it.
Oh no, we are now. Let's do it.
Oh my God, also,
foot
fetish people have commented on our YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Guys. Because of these bad boys.
Well, we assume so.
Well.
They might have been talking about wishing my shoes were open toe. No, it's definitely you. You were flipping your foot around.
Yeah, so that was weird. We got some people commenting on our YouTube saying about that. I'm just going to get my water. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. I'll start talking about you being a bit of a brat, as how most of our stories start. So what happened? I was out for a few drinks with the boys, got the last train home, so I'm an incredible fiance. What?
Why did that make you an incredible fiance?
Well, I could have stayed out till 6 a.m. if you want, gone and fucked the whole town. I'd say coming home on the last train is...
My dad watches this podcast. It's his favourite podcast, so...
I'm not cutting that out.
Okay.
I'm saying what I did was much better than the worst fiance would do.
Fine, great. You can stay out till 6, hun. You just don't want to.
I wanted to come home to you.
You want to come and have a pot noodle? I know, I love you.
I wanted to come home to my gorgeous fiance. That's why I'm a good fiance.
My gorgeous Beyonce.
My gorgeous Beyonce Knowles. Anyway, can I tell the story?
Yeah, carry on.
We got home and you were having a mare, as you quite often are when I'm not there, because things just start falling apart because I hold this family together.
Wow.
And what Frida had been growling, as she does every night, but you couldn't handle it while I wasn't there.
Oh, it's just like, I'm just going to let you indulge. Look at her.
So sweet. So you were in a bad mood, got in, and you're like, oh, I can't sleep, I'm too hot. Right, you've got the duvet on you. So I was like, well, let's take the duvet out of this thing and just use the sheet. And you were like, no, the duvet will go on the floor, I don't want to blah blah blah. So I was like, all right,
we do live in the tiniest house in the world.
Like, all right,
so
let's fold the duvet in half, and then I went into the cupboard to get you an actual sheet out, fresh out the wash, unfolded it, flicked it out, and then you laid there and was happy about it, and then I wanted the quilt, and I think that's fine, isn't it?
Him calling it quilt is so jokes.
I wanted the duvet, and you wanted the thing, and it's like, that's fine. Crack the window wide open.
It's so like,
I'll use the thing. And we'll just have half and half, like...
I mean, really, having half a duvet folded over on top of you next to me is going to radiate so much heat that I just thought...
I think, if anything, having the duvet in between the two of us would stop all my body heat radiating onto you.
It's such a boring argument. But, like, we weren't seeing eye to eye, and then Lewis was like, and you made me go and sleep on the sofa. It's like, I didn't. You were like, I'm going to go and sleep on the sofa, and took the duvet, and I was like, tie-tie. But
our sofa is
our sofa is smaller than both these chairs put together.
Definitely.
We have such a small sofa because we have such a small flat at the moment. And when it got delivered, I was like, oh my God, the sofa's here finally. And the man who delivered it was like, it's not a sofa, it's a bench. And I was just like...
Right.
Thanks. I know, but just don't tell me that.
Yeah, it's basically a small garden bench. And I slept on that all night.
It's a Scandi wooden bench, but it's not comfy at all.
Nah, but we knew that when we went into it.
Yeah.
And those are the kind of decisions that you have to make
when you're downsizing.
When you're downsizing and trying to
build the emp.
When you're trying to build the empire. You've got to stock the empire with cheap IKEA furniture. What's
quite funny, I said to Lewis today, is like, we can build 2 businesses successfully so far.
I would say.
But we can't keep a plant alive. We can't like keep doing the like tiny things, like take the bin out, make sure like we're shit at stuff like that, but we can build businesses. I don't understand.
We can't stop arguing about doing the washing up. We just can't. And it's like, it's not hard. It literally takes 2 minutes. Can I have a sip of the water?
Sure, sweetheart.
Thanks.
Like, we can't do very easy tasks that a lot of people can do. Like, make sure you don't miss the bin day. You know, when it's just like, don't leave the washing in the washing machine.
Yeah, we didn't.
But like, we can do really intricate, like, forward thinking. I think we're really forward thinking, innovative people.
Yeah, fair.
Do you know what I mean?
That. I'm not sure I am, but I think you are.
Shall we move on to some questions?
Yeah. You've got them.
I got a new phone, everyone. Look, it's yellow. I think it's really cute. Do you think I'm going to go off it and be like, why did I get a yellow phone?
It's black and the case is yellow.
No, it isn't. It's actually yellow. The whole phone's yellow. Fuck up. Okay.
You're a 5-year-old.
Oh, whatever.
I maybe secured a job today, which would be really nice. Just to say.
We might have money, who knows. Okay.
Just hanging on to that for a minute.
So we've had what would you say? Someone's written back that we spoke about before.
Yeah, what would you say? Yeah, a reply, I guess.
Reply. Okay. Hello, I'm the stranger that asked you about lying. So last week, I think we spoke about it. Was it last week?
Yeah, it must have been.
I was curious about how you two approach lying, as you seem like a very balanced couple.
That's sweet.
That's very sweet.
I think we are.
Cool.
Do you?
I really, I don't really know what balanced means.
Fair, neither. But I think the word describes us quite well.
Same.
The feeling of being balanced.
Oh yeah, I feel very balanced when I'm with you.
Yeah, same. Go on, read on.
I really appreciate how you've always explored each other's differences with compassion.
I think we have done that, on and off the pod.
Camera.
Yeah, on and off camera we are very compassionate with each other, I think, aren't we?
However, you rightly concluded that you could only advise more if you had more info. Right, so she's setting the scene. Or he's setting the scene. My
Correct.
Situation. I'm currently in a relationship with someone who's turned out to be a compulsive liar. I've caught him out in so many lies that even when he gives the truth, quotations, about the lies, it will later turn out to be yet just another lie. My issue is I see it from both sides. I'm being manipulated and I need to put myself first and end it, versus loving this person deeply and seeing so clearly the parallels in this person's traumatic past that would lead them to lie. I read that quite badly, so she's kind of like seeing it from both sides. Mm-hmm. Am I being a mug, or do they deserve compassion? There's a lot going on here.
So much going on. Have you ever met a compulsive liar?
You have.
Yeah.
I haven't, I don't think.
Yeah, fair.
No.
I don't really know what like constitutes compulsive, but I've met like people who bullshit all the time
and like openly tell lies.
Just like telling lies.
Yeah. What's your? I mean, there's always a reason why people lie, right?
Right. Yeah. Sorry. Let's just think about the best way to break this down. Firstly, knowing that you're being lied to on a regular basis is fucking tough, and like I really don't envy you like having to have the patience to know that you're being lied to. My immediate thought is like, fundamentally, how could you have an enjoyable life with someone who is lying to you constantly, and especially if when you call them out on it or the lie becomes it's clearly a lie, they just lie more.
I mean,
because like people get to a point where they just dig and dig and dig.
Relationships are built on trust.
Well, yeah,
so
exactly,
I'm a bit confused as to where you guys sit, if that's the foundation of a relationship to start with. So I'm not surprised that you're writing in and wondering what to do, because how I don't understand what your foundation is then.
My like, the way I see it is like, it's not your job to be compassionate about someone's past if they're compulsively lying to you.
It's affecting you.
It's a therapist's job.
So fair.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, completely. I mean, obviously, like, we're not going to know this, and we're not asking you to write back again. We don't know what they're lying about. Well, let's just imagine that they're lying about infidelity, everything. And also stuff at work. Like, let's say it's a general. Yeah. Where are you? Who are you with? What's happening at work? How much money have you? Like, maybe the weird thing is, though, it's like, people I know who outwardly lie are like not even just lying about important stuff. It's like they're just lying about everything, and it's like you can't take anything they say. You have to take everything they say with a pinch of salt, and lots of it with way more than a pinch of salt. It's like you have to take it with you don't know where
just
you
some
stand.
Acceptance that they're a liar. So like, this is probably the harshest I've been to a response, but like, I think that isn't your job to be compassionate about them lying, honestly. And it's like, it's sweet that you want to be compassionate about it, and that you are being compassionate about it, because I think even just still being with that person is compassionate, isn't it? But like, if it's unsustainable for you, which I can only imagine that it is, then I don't think it's like something that you should be doing, really.
I mean,
what do you think?
You've just said to us that you're being manipulated, so it doesn't look great from a point of view of that you've spoke to them about it already. This isn't just like they've started to lie and you're not sure why and you're going to find out. This is like, you know why, they've had a traumatic past. I think that's it's like we spoke about this a few podcasts ago about people that have had a traumatic past and then kind of like use that. It affects everything, obviously, but like using that against or like as a reason for acting a certain way is really tough, because can't really argue with it, but you don't have to stand for it. Like, you've had a traumatic past, but if they can't trust you, who are meant to be their person, then where do you go? It's almost like that puts up a wall instantly, and you're not going to feel settled, you're going to feel unsettled. Like, I mean, it sounds like they need a therapist, one, but also like, you don't deserve this, forgetting about them and how much you deeply love them. Really, the bare minimum is to not be lied to by your partner, because that trickles down into everything. How are you meant to trust? How are you meant to feel like you're sharing your true self and they're not? That's not an equal relationship. Yeah. So, sorry, my phone's on loud.
And you don't want to have to try and question, you don't want to have to like question in your mind everything that's ever being said to you.
It's so shit that you've had to like catch him out in lies. Like, this is meant to be, you're meant to be a team, really, like in its most simple form. I'm finding this really tough to answer, because it's just like, it's almost
we usually try and see both sides about it, but like I really think in this instance, like, you seem like, on face value of the situation that you've sent in, you seem like the person who should be acting for themselves and like take yourself as the most important person in the situation, and don't fuck with it.
Also, like, actually thinking about them, they don't sound like they should be in a relationship right now.
Agreed.
Like, if they feel like they have to lie to you, not that we're making this about them because we're talking about you, but if they feel like they have to lie to you time and time and time again, and they're pinning it on their past and all of this trauma, doesn't sound like a place to be in a relationship with somebody, because they can't even trust you. And I'm sure you've done nothing to make them feel like they can't. So how's that a foundation to carry on? You know?
I agree.
I feel really sad that this is like what you've, like, the set, because I thought it was like, you know, silly white lies and they've got themselves in a pickle, and it's like, but this is like, it sounds like this is their personality, and that's really tough.
Yeah, it's just very hard to deal with. And like, I've walked away from people in my life who were compulsive liars and were not bringing me any positivity, or not enough positivity to warrant the bullshit that I was having to deal with. So.
The other thing is, like, as I've said before, you need to keep still on that chair.
Sorry, can I do this?
Well, sit in a position where you're not going to need to move again.
This is perfect.
Okay, you're going to need to move your leg again.
No,
because you're putting it up like that.
Come on, let's finish the thing.
He's annoying me. Anyway, I was just going to say one last thing, which was that I think that, I always say this, it's like I'm repeating myself all the time, but space and time, I think, are great healers. And I think this doesn't need to be like a permanent thing, but I don't think you should stay where you are right now. I think you need to move away from this. So whether like you break up or have space from this for a bit, that's definitely, like, I don't think you can carry on right now. Doesn't mean you should break up forever, but like, I think they need a bit of a, like,
I think something has to change.
You've got to step away from this for a bit, surely.
And especially like,
we can't really tell you what to do, but
No, exactly.
It doesn't feel like a safe space if there's no trust.
Yeah. And if they're lying to cover up other lies, then it's like, how do you even have a decent conversation with them about anything? Like, we normally say communicate is the most important thing, but in this case, it's like, how do you communicate with a liar?
You can't.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not fair. So, thanks for giving us more info.
Yep.
Hope we've been helpful.
Yeah.
It's really, really tough.
Yeah, that's a tough one. But you don't have to take that lightly. That's like very, that's a difficult thing to be dealing with, so well done.
She stopped crying?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, do you want to read a question? Because I read them every time. I don't want to.
I'll do it.
Oh, you will?
I'll do it, yeah.
Sick.
Hand it over. Is this the same one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, this one. Okay, cool. Hi guys. Love the pod so much and look forward to new episodes all the time. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask you both what you think about decision paralysis. I just turned 22 and many of my friends have finished a degree or are in the midst of studying, while I've chosen to travel and work most of the time, having tried to study a bit too. I want to do something creative for a career, but I find myself always being unsure and unable to commit to any one thing. I always feel like I'm not good enough because I can't commit to acting, writing, photography, film, or design art. And it always sends me into a spiral. Any thoughts and advice on how to decide on what to focus on would be entirely fabulous and lovely. Thanks for reading through all that. I hope it made sense. It did. Also, congratulations on the engagement. Thanks very much.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Do you want to take us away with this?
Well,
you guys write in long questions.
Yeah, dude,
I like it.
Such a great question. Okay, well, I think like the most relevant thing that I could say off the top of my head is I'm 30 and I literally only just started doing what I like doing. Mm-hmm. And
so
it's been
you're
like
10 years younger.
Years and years and years and years and years in the making.
Yeah.
And like most of that was just like thinking about it.
Yeah.
So firstly, age is very much just a number. So don't... Okay.
You need to sit still, sorry. Right, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
That's fine.
It's just,
let me actually sit against this.
It's going to be so loud on the thing.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay, carry on. Right? Yeah, age is just a number.
Age is just a number, and 22 is a low number, I would say. I mean, 30 is a low number.
Yeah.
But
don't stress about that, first of all.
Yeah, just don't, like... I'm starting to realise that I, like, put way too much on my age for my whole life, and like, now I'm just an adult doing my stuff.
I never think about age. Maybe it's because we're quite young.
So much when I was like 20.
Did you? But
and I let it hold me back as well. I was like, I'm not old enough to do something cool or something like that.
That's so mad. I never think about that. Maybe it's because
which is kind of the opposite of what this person's saying, I think. But I think, I mean, like, it's obvious that you are interested in doing something creative.
Yeah.
Which is sick. That's the first part.
Yeah.
Imagine if you wanted to do something creative and actually you just like didn't have it in you and couldn't. That's
you've got a lot of interest.
Once you're like interested, once you know that you have something in you that wants to do something creative, then it's like
you know that's your path. Yeah. I was going to say that it sounds like you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, and like even the way that you wrote this list, you're like, it's great that you have all these interests, but I feel like you're saying you're going into a bit of a spiral. And I think that like acting, writing, photography, film, design, art, all these things are kind of just one thing. And I know that they're not if you get really far down the line, but I wouldn't separate them into categories. I feel like, as we just said, you're young, you're 22, you like know that you want to do something creative. I think that putting yourself in a box even to say that it's one of them at this point is too premature.
Yep.
Like, obviously, if you want to go into the workplace and like you need to kind of choose an avenue in a way, but it sounds like you're kind of at the beginning of figuring out what it is, and like, you know, everyone worries that they're not good enough. I'm sorry to say this, that will never go away. Like, I'm only a few years older than you, but I know that for our whole life we'll probably think, like, I'm like, how do I have a business? Like, that it's all shit. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like that's something that you kind of have to just get used to, like, batting away in your brain.
Yeah.
But in terms of, like, your question, I feel like you're in a great position. Everyone does different stuff as well, which is another thing to, like, give a bit of airtime to.
Yeah.
Everyone will be at different places. Like, you might feel like you haven't figured it out yet and you need to because you're in your 20s and, like, you need to have 10 years of doing this before you get to there, like, da-da-da. But actually, everybody has their own pace. Right? Also, it's so tough. I think we've said this before. It's so tough to, like, have a job full time, pay for your life, pay for your rent and everything,
or save to go traveling, which you might be doing. Or
save to go traveling and putting all that into something, and then, like, have energy to, like, do your extracurricular creative passion to like push along the side. It's like, it's really tough. I remember we spoke about someone's question that was like, I get home from work at 6. I'm shattered. I want to watch telly and eat dinner and go to bed. And it's like, of course you do.
That's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
How's anyone, like, building a business on the side? I think it gets quite romanticised, you know, to do it all at once. And actually, you might get back from travelling and be like, I want to have a really, like, easy part-time job so I can think about this, you know?
So...
Sorry, I went on a ramble.
No, that was good. I liked everything you said there. I don't have anything to pick at, but... you were saying that, like, that's a lot of stuff, and it's all very broad, and actually that's just one thing. It's just, like, being creative at this point, and I completely agree. But what we could go into is, like, simple steps that you could take
to, like,
into, like,
untangling them all.
What do you think?
I would say, like, well, in my experience of, like, how I have got to where we are today, which isn't that far down the line, but where we are today, like, when I was in uni, I guess this is the only example I can think of, we had to make all different types of work, like films, ceramics, drawing, like photography, creative direction, everything. And, like, because I had to do all that, I had, like, a current theme that ran through all of them, and they kind of all linked together. And what linked them all together was, like, my interest in a certain concept. It wasn't about the material I was using. It was about the idea. And the idea was, like, failure and doing things wrong and everything being wobbly and blah, blah, blah. And that was my, like, passion. It wasn't making a film or anything like that. And then that kind of, like, drew me into what I do today, which is, like, my brand is kind of about that. Even though it's, like, drawings and embroidery, it's kind of, like, what I do now is kind of a reflection on the past that I've gone through, which is, like, wobbly, giving it a go, don't have to be a professional in any category. Like, if anyone asked me now, what do you do? I'd probably be like, I have a brand, or, like, I own a business. Like, I wouldn't be able to be like, when I say I'm an artist, it's a bit like, I'm more interested in just, like, creating things. So I guess that was a bit of a ramble, but I would say you just got to, like, do it.
Start creating
just
stuff.
Start making things. And I always say this, and it's not about Instagram or social media being great. It's like, put it all somewhere and then you'll start to see links
you like
together.
Having an Insta page as a
diary, or even a private one, just for you to put things, like, documenting, like, all the things that you're making will make you see parallels and understand, like, where you want to go with it. You know, you might get some rolls of film and go out and shoot stuff, and it might all end up being of, like, flowers, and then you're like, okay, and then you decide that you want to, like, make a book, or then it's like, I just think thinking into it ruins it for me.
Yeah, for you. I also think there's probably some merit in, like, forcing yourself to do bits even when you're not feeling it.
Yeah.
And maybe just do something different when you're not feeling what you're doing at the moment, you know? And it's like, that doesn't necessarily mean you're spiraling. It just means you're working your way through the options and like trying to find the perfect thing. And you're right, it will be a combination of lots of those things, I'm sure.
It's so interesting though, like how even now it's like, what are you, a filmmaker, a photographer, a this, a that? And it's like some people still don't know, but they just know that they want to make stuff. And you might be like, okay, I'm going to paint, and then you buy paints and you sit down and you just paint every evening or whatever, and then like a year down the line you might be like, I'm going to make this onto a t-shirt, and then you realise that you like screen printing, and then you want to work for a screen printing house, and then it's like you don't have to commit to one thing, is what I'm saying. I also think that talking about it and showing people, it's really hard, because you're like, it's like you don't want to be vulnerable and show people the work that you've made, but like getting other eyes on it and talking about it usually really helps you. Like when I first started doing she paints, it would be like, oh, I did some drawings, and then someone would be like, and I'd like put them on Instagram, or I showed my friends, and then they'd be like, oh, you should make like tote bags, and then I was just like, I know I'm not interested in doing that. And like it kind of, or like someone was like, oh, you should do like, this is an example, like stationery, and then I was just like, no. And it kind of lets you, like talking about it with people lets you figure out where you want to go without even knowing it. You know what I mean? Because they give you ideas that you don't want to do, and then you're like, oh, I definitely know that I don't want to do that. Yeah. That's what I think.
Sick.
But it is hard to answer this question without knowing anything about your like background or, you know?
Just do what you want to do, and something will come if you plug it hard enough.
100%. That's what we've done.
Yeah, literally.
And I think you have to, I've said this before, I don't want to repeat myself to people that listen to this podcast, but you have to remember that when you make things, you're not going to be obsessed with it straight away. Like, you're never going to paint a picture and be like, oh my God, this is the best picture I've ever seen in my life. Like, you've got to take your own critic and really put them a few seats back, because otherwise you just won't keep making things.
Agreed.
Like if I really deeped all of my work from the start, I would never have put it in a shop to sell. Like I'd be too negative about it. You have to just be like, that's cool, let's keep moving, like keep going through it, I think.
Also, every project I start, I'm like, and there's like a meme going around, but it's like, you're like, this is cool, this is terrible, this I have anxiety because this is so shit, and then you're like, this is kind of cool, and then it finishes and you're like, this is great,
loved it. It's like that.
And then you have 3 weeks of not having any work and just feel sick.
And then you're anxious for the rest of your life. Thanks for your questions, everyone. We're going to leave the questions there. Questions this week.
It's already been quite long anyway.
I need to just like chill. I've been having this like anxious thought about, I don't know if this is just like anxiety about having like being freelance and work and everything, but like I've got this like voice in my head that just is telling me that like everything's shit at the moment and that like I can do better. Do you know do you ever get that? Like with my like work area, it's like all my paints I need to replace, like my paper, I tried to tidy it, it's got a bit messy, like there's stuff on the floor, like there's little things, and like my paintbrushes need washing. And I like walk in here and I have like a voice that's just like, a real artist would have new paints that are full to the brim and all in the right order, and like a whole like drawer of brushes in all different sizes, and they wouldn't be crusty. And like a real art, like I have this like horrible little witch in my head that's just like telling me that like I'm a bit like amateur.
Is that immature or amateur?
Both. Do you know? Do you ever get like that voice? I mean, you do, but like sometimes it's really loud, and it's like I will like look at my Instagram grid and I'll be like, what can I post? And it'll be like, all of your posts are quite shit, and like, why would a brand want to work with you? And it's like, and I like can't. And it comes and goes. Obviously, that voice is always kind of there, but I feel like I'm quite good at being like, no, I'm cool. I'm doing cool stuff. My paintings are cool. Like sometimes I'll like, even when I go to the post office at the moment, I'll be like, you haven't wrapped that very well. Like, why don't you have professional she paint stickers and and I'm using brown tape. And every time I use the tape, in my head, I'm like, everyone's different. I'm not a pristine like branded company with like she paint sellotape, and I like that it's a bit like homemade and like you're getting a painting, you're not getting a skincare product that needs to not be wrapped in brown paper. But like I can't fight that voice that's like, this looks shit and you should have white sellotape with she paints written on it. And it's like I could just order some, but I almost don't want to give in to that voice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you ever have that?
I have similar things to that, I think.
What do I do? Sometimes it's just louder than other times.
I think it probably depends on like the projects that you've got going on at that time.
Yeah, do you think?
What I find is that like if I've got nothing to do, then my voice is then
it goes to that.
My head's allowed to do that. Whereas like if I'm just doing something, I don't bother
my
with
work's
thinking
I've got
you know?
But what's funny is it's a positive thing I've got on top of my work.
Yeah.
Like I've done all my commissions, I'm waiting for emails, like there's no more I can do at this point. I'm waiting for people to talk to me, which is great, and I should be like tidying the studio or like, but it instantly this time, usually I do that. I like do he said do sorry. Usually it's like I'll be able to like go home and like tidy up or like read a book, but this time it's just instant negativity. When does that like...
It's bloody tough.
Yeah. Just thought I'd share that if anyone else feels like that in your workplace.
I think that's definitely a normal
as well,
thing, right? What are you comparing yourself to?
Just like other people in the world that I've made up.
Oh, okay.
I'm like imagining another artist's like special area with their packaging, and mine just looks like a nightmare. You know, so tough.
Yeah, I know. You're pushing in the right direction though. It's like it's so going in the right direction. When you look at it year on year, it's like going in the right direction.
And it's only been a few years. This is turning into my therapy session, but like, yeah, today I don't feel like I'm a profesh.
Got you. Yeah, I feel you. It's fine to feel like that.
Yeah.
We just don't want to let it get the better of you.
And it won't.
Yeah.
I'm very like up for just calling it a day, but like I never usually compare myself to people online and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm trying to strive for more stuff, so I'm like getting a few no's, which is great. Yeah,
that's true. The more you put yourself out there, the more no's you're going to get.
I've been emailing people and getting no's, which is great to like be asking, because that can get to the bottom of the list, outreach. But yeah, just thought I'd share that with everyone. Do
you feel good for sharing it?
Yeah.
Cool.
I also love your beard.
Oh, thanks.
You're so sweet.
Taking ages to get it to a point where you like it.
I hated it for so long.
Now it's like properly. There's like.
It's got to go for the engagement party though.
Yeah, I need a haircut before the engagement party. And get
no,
my beard
I don't
done
think
too.
You should.
Well, should we talk about that off camera?
Yeah, I love you.
I love you too.
Thanks for being there for me.
Should we call it?
Thanks for everybody writing in. Oh, we were going to show Flea.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay. We'll show Flea next time.
Okay, sick.
Thanks for the questions, guys. Keep them coming. We love talking about your problems.
Yeah.
Hope we're helpful.
See ya.
See ya. Thank you so much.